Keeping up with the trend of the Philadelphia Eagles dropping balls, Howie Roseman is now dropping the ball on getting wide receivers who don't drop the ball. What is up, guys? DJ Eastwood here. This is Run It Back, home of the most brutally honest Philly sports takes on YouTube. Some people don't like it, but it's because some people don't like wide receivers. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Please hit the like button on the video. Let's get right into it, man. NFL free agency is taking place as we speak, or legal tampering, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Trades are happening. Free agent signings are happening. The Eagles need a wide receiver like Martin needed Gina. But Howie Roseman is treating NFL wide receivers, top talent NFL wide receivers, like Pam. That's a Martin reference. You young kids probably don't get that. Go watch Martin. Great show. Listen, man, there's the Eagles need wide receivers, bro. Don't do this to Carson again. Don't do it to him. Give the guy a number one target. There was number one targets available for trade. The Eagles could have made it happen, and they did nothing. Deandre Hopkins. Probably the best hands I've ever seen. Only receiver in NFL history to catch over 100 passes with 0 drops in an entire season. 27 years old. Still about 5 great years ahead of him, easily. The Houston Texans traded him for David Johnson, a second-round pick, and a fourth-round pick swap. Are you kidding me? First of all, David Johnson is way past his prime. David Johnson was a negative asset at this point in time. He was owed $10 million. The Cardinals just wanted to get rid of David Johnson, and they ended up getting DeAndre Hopkins in return. That's insane. David Johnson was good for like 5 minutes. All right, like 2 seasons, but then injuries basically ended his career. David Johnson is now as weak as the coronavirus and apparently still as overhyped. This trade makes no sense to me, man. They didn't even get a first rounder. They didn't even get a first round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. I would have drove to Philly, picked up the number 21 pick in the draft, put it in my car, and drove it to Houston, Texas to give it to them for DeAndre Hopkins. We seriously couldn't give up number 21 for one of the best receivers in the game? I just don't understand it, bro. And if they wanted a running back, I would have driven Boston Scott to Houston. And I would have paid for a limo out of pocket just so he could ride comfortably on his last ride out of Philadelphia for DeAndre Hopkins. And they didn't do anything. Why do they got to do Carson Wentz like this, bro? This is the McNabb effect. You're going to give Carson Wentz James Thrash and Todd Pinkston for the rest of his career. I like Greg Ward Jr., but let's be serious, man. You cannot rely on the draft. Now, if they don't get one of the top 3 receivers in the draft, this is a disaster. Because like I said before, Jerry Jeudy, Lamb, and Henry Ruggs are going to be top-tier talent in the NFL. So if you can get one of those, that's fine. But if you don't get one of those and you passed on DeAndre Hopkins and Stefon Diggs, it's a disaster. The Buffalo Bills didn't care. The Buffalo Bills didn't care about having the number 22 pick in the draft. They wanted to give their young quarterback, Josh Allen, a number 1 target. And they went out and they traded that number 22 pick for Stefon Diggs. I would much rather have a guaranteed number 1 target than to rely on Howie Roseman to make a splash in the draft. The Bills traded the number 22 pick in the draft, a 5th-round pick, a 6th-round pick, and a 2021 4th-round pick for Stefon Diggs. Now, that's quite a haul for Stefon Diggs. Weirdly enough, way more of a haul than DeAndre Hopkins got. But you're telling me the Eagles couldn't put together a package for Stefon Diggs? Why do we undervalue wide receivers so much? It's the weakest point of our team for the past how long, bro? Carson Wentz started his career throwing to Nelson Aguilar and Jordan Matthews. Now he's throwing to Greg Ward and a practice squad tight end. I just don't get it, bro. We could have put something together for Stefon Diggs. We have 10 picks in this draft. Oh, my God, man. So the Eagles only move so far. Well, they have 2 moves. Neither is a defensive back and neither is a wide receiver. And those are obviously the 2 positions we needed to fill. If you asked anybody in the world, what do the Eagles need to do this offseason? Oh, they definitely need wide receivers, and they definitely need corners. We have not signed a wide receiver. We have not signed a corner. We haven't traded for either. But we did sign Javon Hargrave, the Pittsburgh Steelers nose tackle, to a 3-year, $39 million contract. He's 27 years old. He's coming off a great season. He was ranked 7th overall defensive lineman by PFF last season. My voice is cracking. Probably have coronavirus, but it's okay. I'm quarantined. You can't get it from watching this video, and even if you did get it, you would probably survive. I don't want to get into that. Listen, we gave Javon Hargrave 3 years, $39 million. He's 27 years old. He's a top 10 defensive lineman. That's a great move. I'm not going to clown this move. That makes our defensive line even more lethal than it was. But you cannot mask below average, weak, incompetent defensive back play just by having a strong defensive line. You can't do it. Oh, well, if we put 4 Pro Bowlers on the defensive line, then our corners and our safeties won't matter because we'll sack everybody. That's kind of like the Sixers trying to dominate the NBA with 2 centers and no shooters. I just don't get it, man. So, also, the Cleveland Browns have signed Austin Hooper to a contract. That's a tight end. Remember when I said, would you trade Zach Ertz for the number 10 pick in the draft? And you all, half of you said yes, and half of you, wanted to burn down my house. And some of you said, why would the Browns want a tight end? They have Njoku. Why would they want a tight end? Why would they want a tight end? I told you they were looking for a tight end, and look what happened. They went out and signed a top 5 tight end. If they were willing to part ways with that number 10 pick, we should have given them Ertz. I know Philadelphia fans are attached to players. We would rather never win a Super Bowl and keep all of our favorite players for 30 years, but that's not how the business works. You have to make moves. You have to stay ahead of the curve. You have to keep improving. We had the oldest team in the league in 2018. Last year, 2019, we had the oldest team in the league because we wanted to hold on to all these Super Bowl players to try to win another Super Bowl. Well, it's done. We could have had Hopkins. We could have had Stefon Diggs, man. Oh, one more thing. We did go out and make a splash by re-signing Nate Sudfeld. Mr. Weak Wrists. Yeah, the backup quarterback that we paid $8 million for 2 seasons, who came out in the preseason last year and broke his wrist by falling over. So at least we got him back. An injury-prone backup to back up an injury-prone starter. Now, I would never say anything negative about Carson Wentz. He had a great season last year. He got taken out by a cheap shot in the playoffs. I'm not going to say he's injury-prone. I'm not going to count that as an injury. That's a full, healthy season if you ask me. But, man, come on, Howie. Don't do us like this. We need wide receivers. We need DBs. Why do you undervalue them every year? You better get somebody good in the draft, or this is a disaster. My name is DJ Eastwood. This is Run It Back, home of the most brutally honest Philly sports takes on YouTube. Some people don't like it, but it's because some people don't like the truth. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button on the video. You guys be safe, clean, wash your hands, stay away from the coronavirus. Hopefully sports will be back soon. I love you all, man. Peace.